Hi, I'm Barbara Dam, and I want to have a conversation today with all of you who stutter. I know that you know an awful lot about stuttering. After all, you're the one who does it. You know that it can be very variable. Sometimes you stutter more than at other times. Sometimes the blocks are stronger or longer. And if you're a person who stutters covertly, that means that you know that you're struggling inside to speak, but other people might not perceive it on the outside. Well, for you too, it can be variable. There are times when you stutter so much, and then there are other times that you seem to be just speaking naturally. But whether or not you stutter usually or just some of the time, it is variable for you, at least in the type of stuttering that you have. Now, you also know that there are times that you really do speak naturally, that you don't have any trouble. These might be very short times. It might be when you're alone or talking to a child. We've discussed all that. But you also know that there are words that seem to be very hard to say. And so often it happens that it is your name that's hard to say. Yeah, we all know. I've heard so many people blame their parents. Why did they give me that name? It's the hardest one for me to say. But it isn't that it's that particular name. It's more that you really want to say your name. And so it becomes hard because you're trying so much. Well, that's a point that I want to make in my webinar that is coming up really soon, the Do-It-Yourself Guide to Speaking Naturally. It is really a webinar that I have devoted to telling you, people who stutter, that there are so many things that you can do to help yourself to speak more easily. I want to explain why these idiosyncratic things about stuttering happen. Why these perplexing situations where I'm going to stutter now, or I'm not going to stutter here, but I'll stutter there, or how much. Why all this happens to you. I want to explain to you the nature of stuttering and all the things that you yourself can do to help yourself to make speaking easier for you. And that's the name of the game. It's not about never having a block or a repetition, although when you're speaking naturally, you naturally don't have blocks and repetitions. But maybe some repetitions, because sometimes our thoughts get repetitive, as you'll see when I'm doing this. But you will not feel like you're stuttering if you're speaking naturally. So in my Do-It-Yourself Guide to Speaking Naturally, I'm going to explain what speaking naturally means and how you can help yourself to do it. Wouldn't that be wonderful to be able to speak naturally? Well, you can do it. You really, really can. And I will be so happy to be your guide and show you the way. So make sure that you sign up. Now, I know some of you feel, well, I've accepted the fact that I stutter, and I'm not going to do all these things that are so effortful and work so hard to try and get rid of my stuttering. I get you. Yeah, and that's not what I'm offering you at all. If you accept the fact that you stutter, great. It's all to your benefit. But that doesn't mean that you can't make speaking easier for yourself, because the goal here is not to try not to stutter. The goal here is to learn about speaking naturally, to learn what is involved, and to help yourself to do it. And you're not going to be any different than the person you are today except it's going to be easier for you to speak. So you're not giving up your own identity as a person. You're just helping yourself. So if there is something, if you are a person who would like to envision your life with being easier because you can speak more easily, then make sure to join me on the webinar. I will be talking to you about stuttering in a way that you probably have not heard of before, unless, of course, you've been following my videos. So, but I will answer all your questions. We're going to have a free, it's a free webinar, and we're going to have a question and answer time too. So I'll be there to answer all the questions you have. Make sure you write them down before you come to the webinar. So we'll see you there, and together we are going to see that stuttering is something that doesn't have to be the major part of your life. So see you there.